Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. This is another Tabletop Simulator video, but I'm not going to be playing a game yet. The game that you see before you, Teotihuacan, City of the Gods, is going to be on Tabletop Simulator on my channel in 3 weeks. Next week is going to be Imperial Struggle, which I hope you guys are very excited for. If you've never heard or if you've never played the game before or seen it before, I hope it really sparks interest in you to seek the game out and play it for yourself, because it's wonderful. I was watching one of my favorite content creators the other day, a fellow named Rado from Rado Runs Through, a board game reviewer. And during one of his videos, he brought up something about Tabletop Simulator that I frankly had never considered before. And it's possible that you haven't either. So I am going to quickly state a policy on how I deal with Tabletop Simulator on the channel. And then I will let you make your own decisions about how you want to deal with things on your end. First things first. If I lived in a larger house, I live in an apartment, not a house. But if I lived in a house that was big enough where I had 2 dedicated tables and I could have one set up only to do board game run-throughs, I might consider doing live run-throughs like that. But at the moment, that's not in the cards. Pun not intended. So I'm going to continue covering board games on Tabletop Simulator. I love board games too much, and I think they're a good addition to the channel, and I'm playing games that other people aren't playing. So all that said, Tabletop Simulator will continue for the foreseeable future until I either run out of games or until I get bored. And number 1 will probably happen before number 2. That's why I use Tabletop Simulator and I don't do live board game run-throughs. It's just I don't have the logistical support to do it right now, even if I did. The chair I use when I play board games is not great, and I can only play so long before my back starts hurting. I probably need better chairs, but that's another topic for another time. So, that's why I play Tabletop Simulator. But the reason I bring up Rado is because in one of his videos, he commented where he called Tabletop Simulator Piracy Simulator. My first thought was, how dare you, Rado? Tabletop Simulator is wonderful. It's a great product. And then I thought about it as he described it, and I was like, shit, he might be right. So his argument was, and it's a very fair argument, that because Tabletop Simulator allows anyone to create mods for it by using Steam Workshop, people can be creating mods of games, and people could download those mods and then never buy the game. And in that sense, it is kind of like piracy, because you could play a game hundreds, if not thousands of times, and not have given the creators any money. And that doesn't sit well with me. The idea that people might do something like that makes me uncomfortable. I do not do that. Flat out, my policy has always been this and always will be this. I will not play a game on Tabletop Simulator on the channel if I don't own it. I have a copy of Teotihuacan, City of the Gods, sitting in my closet right now. It's a wonderful game, and I hope you'll join me when I review it on the channel in 3 weeks, and I do a full run-through. A full playthrough, if you will. But I can see this hypothetical person, and I'm sure that everyone watching this video is wonderful, smart, and talented and would never do anything like this. But I can imagine a hypothetical person downloading a mod and playing the game like 150, 200, 300 times and never give the developer of the actual game any money. And that seems, to be quite frank, a kind of a shitty thing to do. And this is where people could make the argument, but Avi, what if I came to your apartment and we played a board game together? If I don't own that board game at home, is that piracy? No, it's not. Not at all. But it would become piracy if, say, you printed off a copy of the board and made 3D printer pieces and basically made an exact duplicate of it without buying the game itself, I guess. It's not the greatest metaphor, but hopefully y'all are understanding what I'm saying here. So this leads me to kind of the policy update thing that I wanted to bring up here. And then you can get on to enjoying the rest of your Saturday, or whenever you watch this video. I certainly don't know when you're going to watch it. Which is, I will continue to show and include the wonderful mods that content creators create that make it possible to play the game. And I'm doing this for one specific reason. Because in some cases, there are multiple mods for a particular game, and some are just better than others. And I want to make sure that if you decide to download the game and try it out, that you're getting the best possible experience. So that you're not... Your judgment isn't clouded if you decide to buy the game by... this content creator did this one particular thing, this run one wrong way. I really dislike that. Yikes. So, I will continue to show you Tabletop Simulator mods. But, under the understanding that if you want to download the game and play it a couple times, see if you enjoy it, I highly recommend it. Please do. Board games can be pretty expensive, especially top tier games. And I certainly wouldn't want you to waste money. But don't be that inconsiderate jerk who downloads the mod, plays the game 1,000 times, and never gives the developers a single penny. Because that's just not being nice. That's being a jerk. It's making people's lives harder. And you don't get rich making board games for the most part. I assume you can live somewhat comfortably because so many people do it and enjoy it, but you don't get rich doing it. These are people who make board games because they love board games, not because they want to become billionaires. So, if you download the Teotihuacan City of the Gods mod, you play it 2 or 3 times, and you're like, this game seems awesome. Then just go to your friendly local game store or pop onto Amazon and buy a new copy of that game if it's available. You'll sleep better at night. You'll have helped out somebody who literally needs this money to survive and feed their families. And you can feel good about supporting amazing game designers like Danielle Taschini and David Tucci, who co-created this wonderful masterpiece. Although David Turczi, why did I say Tucci? Stanley Tucci is the actor. This is David Turczi, the board game designer. Yeah, so end of lecture / sermon / comment. If you watch this video and you're like, how dare you, you're a monster, and you decide you're going to dislike the video or leave the channel or whatever, that's your prerogative. But I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope you do decide that if you have been one of those not very nice people that's been playing games without paying for them, that you strongly consider purchasing a copy of the game, either from the developer or from Amazon or wherever you can get a physical copy of the game. Last point on this, if you weren't aware, there is an entire category of games under the DLC section here, and these are created by the developers of the game. So you can actually buy this mod for Tabletop Simulator and play the game as much as you want to. And you actually have given money to the developers, and so that's awesome. That shows that you are trying to help them out, and I personally would appreciate it if I was a board game designer that people were doing that. Also, I don't get any money for this, but I believe until January 6th or 7th, most of Tabletop Simulator's DLC are on sale. So, if, for instance, you saw me play Viticulture, and you're like, that game seems awesome, you can buy the mod for like $2.30, and who can't afford that, right? Wingspan is on there. Tiny Epic Galaxies. We just bought the board game. I haven't actually had a chance to open it yet, but it's sitting on my table. I just purchased. Super Fight is a really fun game to play with your friends if you're looking for a game to play. It's very simple. It's very silly. It's Cards Against Humanity, but it's actually a good game. Unlike Cards Against Humanity. I also bought Scythe, because I thought my friends might want to play it, but then they're all like, Scythe looks way too complicated, and I'm like, that's fair. So I didn't buy that one. So I didn't play. I did buy it. I kind of wish I didn't, but oh well. It's a great game, for sure. But anyway, I wanted to quickly explain why I show the games I do, why I won't show other games, and yeah. So hopefully you found this video interesting, and if nothing else, you now know that there's a wonderful tabletop simulator available, so you can pick yourself up a whole bunch of wonderful DLC for any games you might find interesting. But until next time, this has been Davindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.